Tom Generation X. Sorry. Football hooligans and football and people that, people like street fighting and all the rest of it, they tend to have a method to the way that they do things, especially these days with all the surveillance and everything else. And so one thing that they used to do is get into a lot of fights, and a lot of it wasn't actually so much to do with the football team, but to do with the firms that are around the football teams. Anyway, the point being is that the football hooligans always did things in a certain way, depending on the age that they were doing it in. What they would never do is try and kill a bunch of people. And if you haven't seen news, you know that Liverpool won the Premier League, obviously, by now. You would have known that. And there was been a report tonight, if you haven't heard, that during celebrations in Liverpool, during a trophy parade, and I can't show you the footage. The reason I'm making this video like this is because I can't show you the footage of banning it everywhere, except for certain. So you're going to need to Google it. But I'll be able to give you a bit more detail in a second. So a car drove into people at this event, at this trophy parade. So one, that would have been hard to do without doing it deliberately, because the whole place, everybody knew it was going to happen. The whole place cordoned off, everything else. Someone had to try to ignore barricades, signs, warnings, police, everything else. And that's exactly what they did. And they drove the car into the crowd. Now, the reason why I strongly suggest that you have a look for this footage is because during Liverpool's trophy parade, and I keep saying that so that this to give you search terms to look for, this car apparently, not only did it drive in the crowd and deliberately aim and hit people, it apparently either reversed up or turned to take a second bite of the apple. So it wasn't like lost control or a moment of rage. It took a load of people out, or some people out, not exactly sure how many, and then came back for more. They've detained a man, which is all we're told once again. They've detained a man. Now, I can't go out on a limb and say what this is. What I will say is I warned you that 2025 we would have more attacks than ever. That's already happened, but I think that's already happened, by the way. If you include Europe, that's already happened. Well, not more attacks than ever. I said more attacks since about 2016, and that's roughly on where we are. But in terms of the big incidents, like the ones on Christmas Day, like Rudy Cabana, I said there was more to come. And that was maybe an obvious statement, but I meant things like this. Now, again, at the moment, it's fresh news, could be totally wrong. There could be another reason for it, like the guy really hates Liverpool, or is a drunk driver that took the wrong exit and just decided to kill some. Do you see what I'm saying? There's not many explainable reasons why this happened, and the footage will also show you the amount of malice that went into it. So all I can really say to you is that it would be irresponsible for me to say, oh, I know it's this, even though my heart is going, please, in one way, please don't let it be that. Please don't let it be the religion of peace. But, gotta be honest, that's where my thoughts are going at the moment, because who else would have motive, cause, and the bollocks to go out and do this unless you think either you're Rwandan and you're going to get rewarded for it, or you're just you're part of militant Islam and you believe that there's virgins waiting for you, or that you're doing some good against the heretics. Again, I can't say that that's what's going on, and I'm not going to say that's what's going on. How weird! I'm looking at GB News on 666. Sorry. And yeah, I can't say what's going on yet. It would be wrong for me to do so, but I just feel like what are the other likely explanations in a situation like this? I mean, yes, we have had situations as a country where someone's lost it. Michael Ryan being the one that I remember the most. But there ain't been many of those Michael Ryans, have there? People will say, yeah, there have. But when you think about it, if you take out the terrorists, nah, there truly hasn't. That's why Michael Ryan was so shocking when he happened. Because even to this day, if you take out the terrorists, he's one in a billion. So events like this, the motive ain't going to be football, I don't think. It ain't going to be firms. So it really does cut it down. And I don't know how many people are hurt yet or anything else, but go and Google this footage on YouTube. You need to see it because it will wipe any doubt away in your mind about intention. And then we can go from there. And let's just keep updating each other as we go along. I truly hope it's not, but things ain't looking good, guys. Things ain't looking good. And the other side of it is, sorry, just to finish, at the moment they're not telling, I don't know if you've seen any late reports, but everything I've looked at so far has not mentioned how many people are hurt. But yeah, I don't know. It could be a few. It really could be bad. So, and more to the point as well, let's imagine no one's dead, which isn't probably not going to be the case, but they've still managed, whoever's behind it, to take another national kind of event and terrorize people to it. So think about it: pop concerts, schools, and all of the things. So basically, institutions have been destroyed by the left. These are the last things, like street parties, like the way over Christmas and after Christmas and Easter and that. The way they were trying to erase the Christian and or what you might call secular holidays that we've had in this country for hundreds of years. They tried to hide them all under celebrating Islamic holidays. And then when they realized that they were getting so much heat for it, then they started to talk about both, but they still couldn't drop the Islamic ones. Well, yeah, we find ourselves in that position again where, oh look, it's one of our events where this is normal, where we don't expect that kind of trouble, and here it is. So at the moment, I'll be honest, part of me doesn't want it to be true because again, it's so predictable. So I'm hoping there's some other reason behind it. There's never going to be a good reason, obviously, I'm hoping there's some other reason behind it. But the truth is, I can't think of another one. So I'm expecting the worst. And again, regardless of how many people have been hurt, this will affect, once again, the public psyche. It will make them afraid to do things. Would you let your kids go to a pop concert or place like this now? Or I'm not saying would you be so willing to after what's happened in the last couple of years? No. I can answer for you. No. It wouldn't be such an easy decision for you anymore. That's the point. That's terrorism.